My name is Catherine Mrombezi. I'm a health science journalist. I write mainly on HIV, TB, malaria, and to a certain extent, cancer and neglected tropical diseases, which is something new that I've just been learning of. As a person affected by HIV, I write in the first person. It started in 2009 when I was working for the Herald. That's when I started a column called HIV Walk. It was after I had got for PMTCD, Prevention of Mother-to-Child Transmission at the antenatal clinic, that I found out of my status. Thanks to prevention, the single-dose nevirapine that was given then managed to stop the infection to get into the baby. This is called vertical transmission from mother to child. My baby was clear. And I felt that when we were at ANC, lots of mothers didn't like to get tested, despite the risk and exposure that the babies they were carrying had. I had to write in the first person. I had to dispel their fear. I had to tell them that I walked that path. Get tested, it's safe to get tested. And when you get tested, there is prevention. So the PMTCT program got to be rolling effectively in the country from 2004. But prior to that, they used the single-dose nevirapine, which was a prevention measure. And after 2004, when ART was introduced in Zimbabwe, many people started to get enrolled on the prevention program. As a person living with HIV in the newsroom, I've never felt any discrimination at all. I've worked for estate media for years. I've managed to attend all conferences because my superiors know that I have to attend these conferences. I've never had any discrimination from my workmates. But recently this year, when I was working as a consultant for an organization that is supposed to be working with religious leaders living and affected with HIV, that is the first time I came face to face with discrimination, stigma. The director is a very capable woman, and it was during the virtual meeting that I realized that people were talking behind my back to say, oh, she's too old because she's living with HIV, her faculties, she's not functioning well. And the director announced in that meeting that if anyone was going to say that again, they were going to be the first people out. I'd worked in the media sector until 2015 when I took voluntary retrenchment. I'd never been discriminated again. So discrimination is there, it's rife. I cannot say the whole organization was biased, it was just that one person, but that one person tarnishes the image of the whole organization because the person is working as a monitoring and evaluation officer within that organization. And were I to be asked if I would like to go back to that organization, no. It was terrible. And everything just flops. You start to think of yourself, am I not a capable human being? Am I not doing my work? But you realize that this is an individual who's got also their own weaknesses, their own challenges and problems. So maybe they are just bringing it on to someone who is new within the organization. So yes, people living with HIV have reported that they've been discriminated. I came face to face with it when I worked for that organization this year. I was the advocacy and communications consultant for a period of 6 months. Currently, I'm back in the media space. I've been doing some documentation for the people living with HIV. It's PEPFAR funded, supported by UNAIDS, the Ministry of Health, the National AIDS Council. That's where I belong. Speaking to people whom I can hold their hands. This year's theme, 2023, World AIDS Day, it's let communities lead. So there is a program called community-led monitoring. Community-led monitoring is an initiative by the people living with HIV, for the people living with HIV, for better health outcomes. There have always been complaints that when they visit the clinics, they are mistreated. When they visit public places, they are not treated as equals. So the Ministry of Health has allowed these community-based organizations to visit the selected centers, the selected health centers. They are mostly rural, but we also have urban centers like Mtapa in Gweru, Hatfield in Harare, Mbare, Polyclinic. So I think it's a portfolio, a mixed basket of health centers that were selected. So when CLM started in August 2022, only 7 community-based organizations were involved. I'm pleased to say in 2024, 26 community-based organizations will be working with the health facilities. When community-led monitoring started, the health facilities, usually every facility has a manager. It can be a sister in charge or any person who is in charge of that facility. When community-led monitoring started, they were not happy. They thought it was a false fact-finding mission, and they resisted. But with time, they also realized that it was a channel where their issues and challenges could get to the ministries, to the partners, to the authorities, where their challenges could also inform policy making. These are now the issues that the people living with HIV understand, that this stuff is overworked. They understand that if they are asked to say, let's have our viral loads taken on a Tuesday, let's make use of that day. So it's this improved communication from the community-led monitoring. And I'm very pleased that 2023 World AIDS Day theme is Let Communities Lead. So the CLM has informed policymakers. The CLM has also informed where mothers' waiting shelters are needed. This is now back to journalism. And being appointed the consultant for CLM documentation, my journalism experience has helped me to bring out the real issues. And as a person affected, it has also helped me talk to the people, because I would imagine if someone would get to that facility and say, we would like to write about you, there is this disconnect where the person would ask, why do you want to write about me? But the moment you first reveal, say, I'm living the same way that you are doing, life is what you make it, you find that all the programs that we have done, or that have been carried out by the CBOs, we haven't faced any challenges in the documentation. So for anyone who is struggling with their status, find someone to talk to. Find a treatment buddy. For me, we are a discordant couple. I am the one who is positive, my husband is not. He's my treatment buddy. Every day in the morning, 7 a.m. says, have you taken your treatment? Someone should know. We find that young people, when they get into relationships, they don't disclose to their spouses, to their partners, to their boyfriends. Even the boyfriend doesn't disclose to the girlfriend. That is a challenge. Usually someone says, I will disclose with time. But after a year, you can't then disclose because you've been going out for that long. You find that someone then is not able to take their treatment on time. They hide their treatment, they default. So when you find and ask someone, why did you default? They will tell you that I had not opened up to my spouse. They didn't know that I was I was on treatment. It was difficult for me to keep taking medication. So disclosure is not an event, it's a process. You cannot go about disclosing to everyone you meet, everyone you date. But the moment you see that this person is serious, in all fairness, disclose. If the person still loves you, they'll still go ahead and say status is not a barrier. So to all young people, your HIV status is not a barrier. It's how you are managing it. And educate and inform whoever you have met. An informed person will give a better outcome than one who is not informed. Because 20 years ago, it was a death sentence, and people were scared to know that this person is HIV positive. So my message to the media is, let's continue to learn every day. And to the partners, to the Ministry of Health, continue educating the media on all the conditions, not just HIV. I think someone can say HIV is a tired story because nearly everyone is able to write a story on HIV. But is the story communicating? Is it effective? Is it in simple terms that people understand that people who are virally suppressed and taking treatment correctly cannot pass the HIV virus? I think everyone would love to be on treatment if they knew that they would not be infectious. So let communities lead, and let World AIDS Day inform the nation and beyond.